Today I'm gonna walk y'all through how to reload 243 bullet. We have a 243 that we shot a nice buck with last year on the ground. So let's get into it. This is the bullet we used. It is a Hot-Cor 6mm bullet, 90 grain. So they pour hot lead into this right here, and it's a good traditional hunting bullet. We got 45 grains of stay ball powder, shooting around 3,000 feet per second. But the one downside is when these travel at their top speed, it can be really effective and explode. This is one we got from our buck, because this can mess up the meat and there's like lead trap all over it. We're gonna weigh this compared to the other one that exploded and see how much lead we lost. So let's see. Okay, 90 grain, I think.
Yeah.
All right, now let's get the destroyed one right here. Take this out. We lost a bunch. It started at 90, ended at 20. We lost about 70 grains of lead, and some of that could end up in the meat. Today we're gonna load 80 grain TTSX bullets. These have no lead in them, so they cannot mess up the meat, and they do better at high velocity speeds. We're getting our components together. So you need brass, gunpowder, large rifle primers, and then TTSX. You need a reloading book, but we went on barnes.com for some better load data. You want to get low charge all the way up to high charge, and we're going to make our way up. All right, we're going to start working on our brass. So we're going to do 4 all the way down.
We're using Starline Brass. This is once fired. It's all cleaned and primed right here. It's only once fired. I typically don't worry about trimming at that point, but we'll measure a few. 2.03, 2033, 5, 20345. You can see they're all pretty similar. 2035. You go ahead and look at your book, your reloading manual. This will show you your maximum length, 2.710, and your case trim length, 2.035. We're within that. If we wanted to be a little more particular, we would trim it all to the same length. We're not going to worry about that for now.
We have 2 dies. We have a sizing die and a seating die. The sizing makes the bullet where it fits. The seating die seats the bullet. All right, we got our sizing die. We're gonna set that up. And now, when you know what's in there, you pull it down, you're gonna feel a bit of tension, just like that, at the end. All right, we have some sizing wax, and we're gonna rub it on the case just like chapstick. So let's get on my phone. And that makes it so it don't get stuck in here. So set it there. Ooh, okay. Now it's nice and tight, so we're gonna put it with the other one. We're using White River primers. They're from Arkansas, but they've been giving us good luck, so we're gonna dump these and make the bullets. Alright, so those are kind of hard, so Dad's gonna do it. Alright, we got the primers. Now we have Superformance gunpowder. That's what we have to add. So we have 47, 47.5 to 48, which is all below 48.6. But you can see we're climbing up to high. Dad's gonna add the powder. We're gonna do 47 grains, so let's do that. Add in a decent amount. Alright. Now, alright. Take that. Alright, 47. 47. 46.67. Alright, we got our 47 grains, and now we're going to carefully hold the funnel. Hold it tightly. Nice. See? Now we're ready for a bullet. We're gonna start seating the bullet. So on this, it says 2.610. So let's take this out. Okay. Now that we are seating it, we have to make sure the seeder is the right length. In there. About 5 times. Get our bullets right here.
This one right here.
Huh? Oh shoot, yeah. And then carefully we have our first bullet done. Okay, so we're seated, but now we have to measure it. See. Okay. .7235. I'm gonna try to.
Got it.
Alright.
So that's too long. So we got to
So
adjust
we
it.
have to adjust it. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna tighten it a bit, about 4 times, and we're gonna measure it again, make sure it's at our desired length. Set. Alright. Do I have to hold it? Okay, we're at 2.7 now, but we still got a long way to go. Alright, see, let's measure it. .6, 190. It's pretty close, so I think we should just call it there. Alright, so we did 47, now we're gonna do 47 and a half. So it's pouring, now let's get the funnel. Just tightly hold it. This one there. Do this one. These are kind of hard to seat, and we messed up. So we're gonna have to get a new one, but that's what it looks like. Dad is gonna pull the bullet so we can reuse it. All right.
All right, so the problem that we're having, these cases are a little tight and the neck is a little tight. And so we're seating it here. You can see these cantilevers here. It was just getting a little too tight and pushing it down into the case. Now, so what we've got here, when you're having trouble seating, Lee makes what's called a universal expander. And what it does, you can adjust it and it'll flare. You adjust it just to flare out the neck ever so slightly. You may not even be able to see it here, but I'll show you one that we haven't done it on yet. You got that? 2755. Now this one that we flared just ever so slightly, 2795. And so that little bit of extra space should help us be able to seat this bullet and not give us as much trouble. Now you hate to change your methods partway through, but what we'll do when we set up the die to seat it a little further and get a light crimp on there, we'll run through all of these bullets again just to try to get everything as consistent as we can. But we've already wasted 2 cases in their primers. So we're gonna try something a little bit different, see if we can do it better. So what we did here, we flared it, but since we flared it, the bullet seated really nicely, but since it was flared, and we had to do a little crimp to get it tight there. And so what we did there, over here on the die, you back the stem out all the way, you get the case, and then you screw it a few turns at a time, and keep going until you feel it make the crimp for you, the die. And then with this all the way up, you tighten it back down to where it is, and you should be set. Now if you look at this, we have a good crimp right here. It's seated nice. Now if you look at the length, 61.15, that's a lot closer to our target, which was 2.610. So we're gonna go ahead and run the rest of our bullets this way. The ones that we already seated, we're gonna run back through there just to make sure everything is as close as we possibly can make it. So we're testing the charge.
Let's go ahead and get these seated. That was much smoother.
Let's get a look at it.
Measure it?
No, let's just get a look at it. We'll measure it later. Let's look at this. See, that's
much better.
a lot better. A lot easier
Alright.
to.
Let's set this here.
Slow and steady pressure. Remember, you can kind of hold that bullet. What I like to do, I like to you can kind of pinch it like right here. You don't have to hold the base. So you hold it right here and just make sure it's gets fed up in there. All right, slow and steady. Looking good.
Another nice one. Very nice. Again, they look like they are all the same, so they should all be the same length.
Hold it up here. Nope, hold it up here.
Okay. Last one. Looks beautiful as well.
Okay, let's see them all lined up. Pretty bullets.
Alright, we wrote down our recipe right here. Let's put this on the inside. Not the best, but And then we wrote down, for example, this 47.5. So we're gonna start up here. Finally, next, we just gotta shoot some paper and see what they do.